Can you believe it? Sunday morning, 7:30 a.m. So excited for me to be here, for you to be here. Heath is here already. 6:30 in the morning where he is, and he's here. What's your excuse? You don't have one? Well, what are you going to do? Anyway, so many awesome people are here already. Looking forward to hanging out with you all today. Like I said, it's Sunday. I have my coffee. How about you? Of course, my cup is leaky today. Awesome. Nothing like a leaky coffee cup to get in the way, right? He says, dogs woke me up. We don't have any dogs. We have got cats. But for some reason, our cats, we don't let them in our room at night. And they will get uppity, upset about something, and they will jump up and swat at our door handle on our bedroom door and like make all kinds of racket. John Gugahan is here. Gugahan is about to make his second cup. This is my first cup, but it's 30 ounces. So I think it'll last me the 2 hours that we'll talk today, hour and a half, hour, depending on how long you all want to hang out with me. And Heath is saying, thank you for humoring me last night. No, I don't accept that. Thank you for sitting down with me and talking with me for an hour. It's my pleasure. That's what this is for. This is for me to sit down with people that I think have stories that need to be heard. I want to have loads of people here. I want to have everybody on. I want to talk with all the people with the great stories because I'm selfish and I want to hear the stories for myself. And it's kind of a face-to-face chance to get to hang out because you guys live in Houston and that's far away from me. So some of the people that I've had on, I have met in person. A good amount of them I have met in person, though unfortunately some I have not met in person, but hopefully eventually that'll be rectified. Big Bob, good morning, sir. Thank you so very much for being here this morning. How are you doing, buddy? Are you doing okay? How's your wife? You guys doing all right? Maitreya is here. Good morning, dear. Hello, hello, hello. I was wondering, how is it that I could go live twice on Saturday and then come here on Sunday and the people will still show up and want to sit and listen to me talk? It is a bit of imposter syndrome because, it doesn't make any sense. But I understand it at the same time. Family get together, talking, all that fun stuff. Maitreya saying it wasn't humoring you. We're all looking forward to hearing your MS journey. Yeah, 100%. And it is kind of crazy the fact that you're going through this and the doctors have no idea really what to tell you. So you're finding out things that they don't know. And I just want to know, like, as a doctor, how much to this are they taking to heart when someone comes in and they're doing these things? Are they kind of going, I really want to know. Jeff Bolts is here. Thank you so much. Second cup already. We'll see how I do with one of these today. If I need a second one of these. Some days I do. Some Sundays I've, before it comes on, I've had one of these and I have to go and make another. 5 shots of espresso in this cup today, only because while I was making Chandra's to get her out the door for work today, my Nespresso machine, I misread the water level and it ran out of water while I was getting things together for her. So when I filled it up with full of water and then I put mine under there and started it up. The first pod didn't give as much water in with the pod as normal, so I had to make another one. So I threw another pod in there. So 5 pods. So you know how it goes. Good morning, Evelyn, my dear. How are you? How is Carl? I always say this is what they call it practicing medicine. Yeah, I mean, it's not, I mean, you would think that it's an exact science, but really they're just throwing medicine at they're throwing pharma at the walls to see what sticks. A lot of the big drugs that do things weren't meant to do those things to begin with. Like, the blue pills, they were for blood pressure. I think they were blood pressure pills, and they found out that they gave a little assistance to the old guys. I don't remember what statins were for, but statins outsell the blue pills, which is crazy because you figure people want those more than a statin. Because what does a statin really do? Not a lot. Not a lot. To a degree, yeah. You know, I just and I don't think they see it that way though. Like I said, it's so difficult, and it's going to be so difficult to really shift the paradigm that the pharmaceutical industry is at the forefront of health where it should be farmers, not pharmaceuticals, but farmers. Steaks, eggs, chickens, you know, it's really not that difficult. Evelyn says, "I really have to say I have to say I really enjoyed both interviews yesterday. The warden brought me to tears." Yeah, I mean that's a definite emotional ride that she's lucky to have survived, and we're lucky that she survived it because we get to hear the story. We get to have her in our community, so that's going to be a definite, a definite asset for us because obviously she made it. And where I don't think if honestly I think if this would have happened in the United States we would have never known the story, and that's traumatizing in of itself. I couldn't imagine. So one thing, Heath, is I didn't get a chance to ask you or Shelly last night is you guys were interrupted in that 3-month cruise about halfway through, a third or way or half a way through. Did you guys ever get a chance? Or was there any kind of refunds for that? I know that the insurance picked up and covered a lot of it, but was there ever a chance to get to go on another cruise to kind of make up for all the time lost, or was that basically, well, you lived, so congratulations? I guess I don't know. That's your good consolation prize as you lived. I don't know. I just kind of curious if there was any kind of like, did you guys get to go on another cruise, or was there a voucher for that, or the insurance cover that? Like, because you lost half of a world cruise. That's insane. Okay, so you guys got some cruise credits. Okay. I've never been on a cruise. I've never even been on a boat in the ocean before. I've just seen the ocean. I've been about as far out in the ocean as, I can, I'm not going to drown in it. And I'm really picky on what parts of the ocean I go into. So, and Shander's not a big fan of boats, though her family would go on vacation and rent boats for a week and be in the Caribbean or wherever. And she's like, I don't need to be on a boat. And I'm like, but I don't want to go on a boat. I don't necessarily know if I want to go out on a huge cruise ship or not. There's just so many things that can kind of go wrong. You've got 5, 6, 7,000 people on a boat in the middle of the ocean. I mean, obviously, it's just like flying on a plane. So many things can go wrong, but obviously, they hardly ever do. So, I have some stew meat in the slow cooker. Put half a packet of cream of mushroom keto chow in the broth. I'm excited to see how it turns out. I have not played around with the cream of mushroom keto chow. Um, I just haven't had an opportunity really to make it, and I'm kind of afraid that once I do make it, they'll be sold out, and then my recipe will be kind of dead in the water. I still have to make. I still got to make a video on this stuff here, the salty tablets. I have them here unopened, but I have not made a video on them. I have a whole video comparing these, kind of looking at these and looking at other electrolytes, both salty as well as liquid IV, element, all the ones that are on the market. I have kind of a video plan. I just have to record it. Hopefully, I'll do that today. And then I've also got some other stuff to record today. But as you know, Keto Palooza is coming around the corner in a few hundred months, it feels like. And the Facebook groups are opened up. I think there is now 2 Facebook groups. There's a Facebook group for people who are interested in going to Keto Palooza, and maybe I'll be get corrected if I'm wrong. A Facebook group that has been opened up if you have already purchased a ticket for Keto Palooza. I think that is what's happened. I think I have been added to both because I have purchased my ticket, and I have been pushing and shoving and pleading with all of you fine people to make sure you purchase your ticket, because if I'm going to be there, I want you there too, because that's what the whole thing is about. I want you to be there. I want you to hang out with me. Like I said, me pushing these tickets, a discount code, the discount codes aren't even my discount codes. They're other people's discount codes. I think there's a couple of different discount codes. I know that at least there's PhD for proper human diet discount code. There's 2KK. I heard there might be Don, the DDK for Don Does Keto, and maybe RSK may have one. I know they had one last year. I used their discount code. I don't know if those discount codes are all working, but at least I know the proper human diet and the 2KK are valid discount codes for Keto Palooza. Get your tickets while you still can. I believe at least half of them are already sold. So let's take a look and see what Maitreya says. I barely do any comparisons because Chris publishes the spreadsheet on the Keto Chow site, and I can just download a copy of that and toss a couple scripts of sort how I want to. Yeah. Yeah, I want to, and I looked up, and I'm looking at these because if I want someone to purchase something like this from me, okay, so the reality of this is 250 pills in this bottle. It's $58. Serving size is 8 to 10 capsules a day. If you take 10 capsules out of 240, that's 10, or that's 24 days for 20 or for $58. My thing is that right for you? That's a lot of money. $58 for a month, right? Not even a full month is a lot of money. To me, it's a lot of money. And and here I am, somebody saying, "Hey, I have a discount code, I have an affiliate link. Do you want to buy these?" But and I can't with good conscience say that without providing you all the information that I have available. And I know Chris publishes that information, but not everybody's going to get Chris's information. And to me, making a video, if I'm trying to sell something to somebody, I need to provide them with the real world data. I mean, we have salty, we have element, we have liquid IV zero sugar, we have these. We have them in the house. I have a couple other brands of electrolytes in the house. I think I've looked up and I've tried Ultima before. I have a couple of brands that have sent me stuff to try out that I have not made videos on. So I'm just like, if I have an affiliate with a company and I want them to try it, if I want someone who watches my video to try it, and I'm not providing them information of what they're getting for the money, I can't sell it. It's just something, and maybe that makes me a bad affiliate marketing person, and maybe I won't make nearly as much money as I could if I just said, "Hey, buy it, it's great," but I just can't. I just can't do it. So and Heath is right. Food is more important than pills, and I know it wasn't. I know it's not, but it's just one of those things that like I could make so much more money if I was selling ketones and I was doing, you know what I mean? If I didn't have scruples, I guess I could be making so much more money. and and like And I know that there's YouTubers out there who do these things and do. But and I know it's not a dig, not even a little bit. But you know, and I mean, we don't have any affiliates because we're not really big product users. You guys aren't affiliates with Keto Chow? You guys get all the stuff early. I thought you guys were affiliates with them as well. And Radical Geek says, or Maitreya says, she doesn't have affiliates, so I don't sell anything. My opinion is that capsules are for things like travel and athletics. I think so. There's one thing that I want that I'll be talking about in my video when I make it, because I have a friend that's going through cancer treatments, and during the cancer treatments, her doctor was telling her she needs to take electrolytes. And the idea of and she had trouble eating food, keeping things down, because anything that was even mildly salty was just so revolting to her that she couldn't handle it. So I had a bottle of basically the same thing of these that were the Keto Chow branded ones. I just gave her the bottle. I hadn't even opened it, tried it. I got it to try, and I just gave it to her. Because if she can't palate that but needs it, then she can take a pill and it's not going to bother her as much, just water and the pills. She doesn't have to take 10 a day. Because if you take 7 of these a day, then you're getting 31 days out of the bottle. So 7, you're getting 31 days. So if you take 7 a day, 31 days, 10 a day like you're recommended, 24 days. I just think, looking at what they are, how many you would need, what are you getting from your food? Because some of us aren't always getting what we need from our food. We know that the general public are probably not eating enough proper food and maybe too much of the other stuff. And I think that's where these things can be, can come in handy. There is a use case for these. It's just, does your budget allow for it? That's the thing, is how do you make all this keto stuff work for you if you're utilizing keto products? So, yeah. So Maitreya is not an affiliate, but Hungry Heath is. Yeah, he is. They use it for fudge and ice cream. I mean, I've gotten to the point where some nights at night I like a nice warm keto chow. I do like the chocolate and vanilla. I've had like the birthday cake warm is good, and I don't have to like put it in the fridge and wait a day to drink it. There are certain things that I do like. Um, I made the potato flavored hash browns on my chaffle maker. That's great. We bought 6 more packets, so I've got 8 packets to try to make more things. But again, they're going to sell out, and we don't know when they're going to get them back in. So there's so many unknowns with being an affiliate with a company like Keto Chow. If a flavor isn't in the normal rotation, coming up with recipes and putting the recipes out there, and then people not being able to get the full supply, or get a packet to make the recipe because they haven't been restocked, and we don't know when they're going to be. We don't know if they're going to be seasonal. There's so many factors involved that it does make it kind of difficult. Where I would love to make a few more recipes with the potato, and I know they're coming close to selling out, if not a third of the way, or with a third left maybe. So there's just a lot of things that um you know um, and I think, being able to showcase real world case scenarios for these products is key. And I mean, if you can find one. Yeah, Maitreya says everything is revolting when you're going through chemo. Everything tastes like bug spray and metal. Yeah, she says just the flavors, like she just couldn't stand to eat anything. And then she'd have weeks where it was like the off week where she could just ate like crazy. And yeah, so I just wanted to make sure she had those, because we're like lifelong friends. And I told her, he's like, hey, I was like, if you need more, if you like these, I have a discount code and all that stuff. So, I mean, I'm not trying to sell it to them, but I know, like, you're not going to find this kind of stuff on the market. I mean, obviously, you can get like a bottle of magnesium, you can get a bottle of potassium, calcium, I don't know if you can get the chloride you may need, and then the sodium. The sodium is the hard part. There's not a lot of sodium tablets out there that are taste-free sodium. So having a way to get sodium in if you can't stomach it is a difficult proposition as well. So that's where I think a thing like this product here is I think there's a marketing aspect to it that is underutilized. I mean, because it's kind of like you're marketing to people with cancer. It's kind of like shady business, even though it helps them. I don't know. But I said, like my friend, I was just like, well, yeah. And I use keto products they add value to me. However, they may not be true for yeah. And that's the thing is like, we go out and typically we're trying to if you're familiar with the channel that we have, we bring in keto products with the basically we're trying to see if it is actually good at all. And most of the time they're not. And typically if a company makes good products, then we will work with them. Like Pork and Good are some of the best pork rinds on the market. So they offered me they offered me to be an affiliate with them, and I was like, sure. But at the same time, if I make a video for them and I'm saying, if you can get Pork and Good pork rinds cheaper at a location near you, like people who live near uh um the people who live near jungle gyms, they're typically on sale and cheaper, I think, than online. And or if you live in Wisconsin where Pork and Good is, they're in stores there. You're probably going to get them cheaper than you can from me. By all means, do it. Buy it cheaper. I mean, realistically, that $2 I'm going to get out of whatever order you make isn't going to make or break me. My goal is to hopefully save you guys some money. And there's no point in me telling you buy it anyway. I mean, no, I want you to buy it as cheaply as you can. That's the thing is like if you can buy something on Amazon and use my Amazon link and get it cheaper, cool. But like I said, with my Amazon link, I've made $15 in 3 years. So, no one's getting rich over here. But let's see. I have never been warm hot drink fan. Maybe that's why I never drank coffee. Oh, coffee is delicious. Now the thing is like me putting something sweet in my coffee. I just don't have a palate for sweet coffee anymore. Coffee with heavy cream, sold. Well, this is espresso and heavy cream. So basically drinking my own Americano. But I've put like, like the before salty came out, I tried the chocolate salt element in my coffee. It was okay. I haven't tried the caramel one in my coffee from Salty or the other chocolate. And somebody did send me a chocolate. Uh, I did get sent a some chocolate or some chocolate caramel element, and I haven't tried those yet either because I'd put them in my coffee, and it's just flavored coffee. I'd just rather have coffee flavored coffee. The keto chow tomato soup flavor I use to make barbecue sauce. There's also a tomato soup you can get from Progresso that's actually keto branded. I need to make a video on it because it's actually pretty clean and it's not a bad price. I think it's a single serving, like a 14-ounce single serving can, and it's like less than 350 at our Walmarts. They have a cauliflower soup and they have a tomato soup. Um, and obviously I have no affiliation with Walmart. But Progresso, I mean, that's like I saw it in the stores and I'm like, and it's pretty clean. I mean, I think it's like 8 total carbs for the whole, I think it's 8 total carbs for the whole can. And so it's a 1 serving can, 14 ounces. So you're getting a meal for 8 carbs, and if you could get some, if you have like the pepper jack wisps or whatever to put those in there, yeah. Or make some chaffle, get grilled cheese chaffles or something like that. Yeah. Now I'm hungry. I need to decide what to eat this morning. Yeah, I mean, like yesterday, I didn't eat right up till like almost I was shoveling food in my mouth trying to get my food in before talking with Heath last night because I forgot to eat yesterday. And I made myself some eggs and warmed up some leftover bratwursts. Um, but yeah, so I forget to eat all the time. I don't know what I'll have today. I'll trade my keto chow to a buddy for yard eggs. There's a bunch of these cool recipes that I see online now where basically you roast peppers and onions and some tomatoes and garlic and like some like feta cheese. You put them in you roast them in the oven and then you basically put it into a blender and blend it all up and it makes the whole like a soup. I'm like, yeah, it looks amazing. So he says that he forgot to talk about last night how he's a keto oddball and does not count or worry about carb count. So explain that to me. You're not worried about carb count because I don't necessarily worry about carbs, but I've set myself up with a food that I'm not too concerned about. I'm typically going for frozen burger patties that I have in the freezer, eggs, hot dogs. I buy two types of hot dogs. I buy the jumbo Gordon's Food Service hot dogs, the all beef jumbo ones. They're a carb each, what the nutrition label says. And then I also buy the Oscar Mayer, just the wieners, wieners. And they're a carb each, give or take. And because they're cheap, you can get two packages for $5, and they're easy to quick, and they're smaller. And the girl likes them, and I like them, and it's something that we can have quick. The big ones usually take a lot longer in the air fryer. They take 15 minutes in the air fryer. The small ones don't take that long. So I saw that on TikTok. I might try it next week in a coffee talk. Tonight is Ketovore Lazy Buns. Good morning, Brian. Thank you for being here. Working in woodshed and forgot you were on. Well, you're here now. That's all that matters. Mr. Gugahan says, I am pleasantly surprised when major brands have clean ingredients. Yeah, I mean, it's relatively clean. And then they're a big brand, too. So I figured that, that they would not be so clean. And I try to promote that because so often we see keto products come and go. So they may put it out and not sell as well, and then it'll disappear. And I usually keep 2 cans in the pantry just because I want to have something quick and easy on a night where I just don't feel like it. So I try to promote things like that. I need to make a video on it to promote it because I don't want them to not sell well and then discontinue it and then I not have it anymore. Because I mean, relatively pretty clean. And I can pull the ingredients up here in a second. Let me see if I can find it real quick for everybody here. Do 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 do. Let's see if I can find here. Let's see if you can see this or not. Let's see. All right, so we're looking at ingredients as water, crushed tomatoes, high oleic sunflower oil. So that's not so bad. I mean, it's not canola oil, which is a plus, but I don't necessarily know how bad sunflower is, and I don't know what high oleic really means. But then there's onions, cream, fire roasted tomatoes, roasted red pepper. Contains less than 2% of dried cream, inulin, carrots, sea salt, garlic, onion powder, spices, stevia, and garlic powder. So realistically, is it as clean as it could be? No. Is it as clean as you would make it? No. Is it pretty darn clean for a can on the grocery store shelf? I believe so. So, sound off. Let me know your opinions of the high oleic sunflower oil. Everything else, relatively clean, and it doesn't taste bad. I don't really even notice the stevia in there. I don't remember seeing that in there, but I think relatively it's actually pretty clean. So, yeah, mostly meat, so there's not enough carb intake. Yeah, I feel you. Good morning, Charlie. How you doing, sir? You're making my hash browns today? That's pretty awesome. I want to know how that goes. You gotta keep me posted. If you post on Instagram, tag me in that. I want to see. Now, the one thing that I've noticed in air frying auntie, Shauna said, is she used fresh cauliflower rice or, not the bag stuff that I did. I used the full green brand or whatever it was. And those were basically almost pre-cooked. And that turned out really well for me. But she used basically, she should, if you're going to buy like the frozen bags of cauliflower rice, you probably want to steam them first. Steam them and then kind of let them cool down and then mix them up. So that might be something that I make. I might make a second video with frozen cauliflower rice and maybe make tots out of it or something like that. So it's not the exact same video, but people understand what to do. So yeah, I just don't know. I just don't know. I mean, it's probably a good bet to skip for the sunflower oil. Um, but I just don't know how sunflower oil is in comparison to the rest of, because I mean, we know sunflower is actually a seed. And they're not hiding the fact that it's a seed. But anytime I've ever had sunflower seeds, they're very oily. So it seems like the oil from sunflower seeds wouldn't be as hard to get out. I don't know. I just don't know, like, if it's as bad as, obviously it shouldn't be nearly as bad as canola or the ubiquitous, rapeseed and all that stuff. But I just don't know. Brian says we're smoking pork belly burnt ends and burgers today. All right, that sounds delicious. I think you're too far from me to be able to go and get some. I think you're in Michigan, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I try to keep track of people, but I'm not always successful. And Charlie is correct. Matreya's got the right idea. But yeah, I don't know like how everybody would feel about. I mean, I guess it's an N equals one here. If that's something that may have or has bothered you in the past, and obviously you want to avoid something like this. But like I said, as far as it being something on the market that is about as clean as you could expect it to be from a large company. So, yeah. But anyway, meal prepping burgers and bacon on the Blackstone later today. I want a Blackstone. Are the small like 22-inch Blackstones? Are they all like are they all propane or are they electric Blackstones? Because I wouldn't mind having a Blackstone for like in the kitchen. Do they make those? Is that something I could get? Can a Blackstone be used inside? I'm asking for a friend, which is me. I'm the friend. Because I want to start doing some cooking videos, live cooking, stuff. And if I could get a Blackstone that fit like right on my island, instead of the camera right in front of me on the island, we just talk like, you know what I'm saying? And people are like, "Ugh, what a weirdo," and hang up on me. But making chicken Alfredo with roasted broccoli, that sounds amazing. Another frittata tomorrow. I think I've made a frittata before by accident. I also have chicken and Dewey sausages to go on with my sauerkraut. I've never been a fan of sauerkraut. I just talking Chandra into it. I think it would take like YouTube paying me a little better for me to start buying stuff like an indoor Blackstone to make videos with. Because I'd like an indoor Blackstone and I'd like one of those like double burner things so I can cook on camera with everybody. Because you got Maitreya does cooking videos, Hungry Heath does cooking videos where they're doing live, and I could do it and it'd be fun. And And it would kind of up my cooking tutorial videos as well, me just filming it, because then you get to see me. People are like, why aren't you wearing a what you call it? Like a hairnet. That's my food. Yeah, I need to check onto those and see. I need to try sauerkraut prepared by Maitreya. Luckily, our hot plate we cook on was donated by a channel member. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like I think Jennifer Lucas said she had an extra one, and I might be able to borrow that from her because obviously she doesn't need two, I guess. I just gotta double check with her on that one. I will be driving her. Well, I guess no, I won't be taking her. I was going to take her to the Columbus meetup, but unfortunately, the Columbus meetup is in an upstairs facility, and there's no elevator or anything like that to get her up the stairs. So she won't be joining me. Maybe Jackie will join me. Otherwise, I'll be driving by myself. No big deal. And unless anybody else wants to ride with, let me know. Anybody in the Indy area wants to ride with me to the Columbus meetup, we'll talk about it. Cindy DeManch is here. Cindy DeManch, thank you so much, dear, for being here. Shelly King, thank you so very, very, very much. Hey, Dustin and crew, from Shelly and Lindy. We're heading home today after an awesome visit here in Texas. That's amazing. I'm so glad that you are here today. And tell Lindy I said hello, hello, hello. Big Belly Bob is in the house. Stop by with my cup of coffee, sending positive vibes. Congratulations on all your new subscribers, my friend. You are totally just knocking it out of the park. How are you liking those vertical lives? I've done two long vertical lives, 60 minutes each. The first one I did was a big success, 600 views, 15 subscribers. The second one I did, 640 views, no subscribers. So I'm going to continue to do them. I have another one. I have another one coming up this Wednesday, 2 p.m. We're going to be talking about, I can't remember. Just check the thumbnail or check the description. You'll see it. It's listed. It's posted. It's ready to go. 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on a Wednesday. Me, Vertical Live, hopefully taking a talk to some of these people. Yeah. Sorry you didn't make it last night. We'll catch the replay. Okay. You don't have to be sorry, dear. He says, that is my one regret about missing KPL last year was not being able to meet you in real life. Yeah. Hopefully you guys will make it to one sooner or later. I mean, last year we were up and we were asterisked to whether there would be one this year or not, but obviously there is one. It's coming. Tickets are selling out fast. She says, hello, hello back. All righty. All propane on the Blackstone. So they don't have any electric Blackstones? Let's see. I'm planning to go to the Dayton meetup, only an hour away from me. What was the location and time? I don't remember. Because I wasn't sure, because I thought it was like somewhere near Cincinnati, so Dayton, Cincinnati area. That's next weekend, right? Next Saturday. So I'm not exactly sure. Because I wasn't able to go. Headed out to visit some of my new from Keto Palooza friends today. Might try our hand at making a few keto recipe videos. Do it. Do it. Join the dark side, Evelyn. Join the dark side. It's warm here. And have a great day. Cindy's looking up the link to post. Good morning, Robin. Only have a few minutes, but wanted to say hello. How is everything going? Because Robin and Callie are working on doing live streams. I'm excited to see those when they start doing lives. So keep us posted on those, and we will watch. Inglewood, Ohio, listed on lowcarbevents.com. And here is the link for everybody if you want to click that. I wish I was able to go, but I had to choose between that one and Columbus, and Columbus won out. Mm. I love coffee. How about you? I'm going to look up. So this is what they're saying, and I'll put it in the chat so everybody can see this here. So it says, yes, sunflower oil can be keto friendly depending on the type. High oleic sunflower oil, which is low in polyunsaturated fats and high in oleic acid, can be a good choice for a keto diet. It provides benefits such as improved blood sugar control, reduced inflammation, and improved metabolism. But that's just a simple Google search from I Eat Keto. It comes up from I Eat Keto. So I don't necessarily know how accurate that is for a keto and all that stuff. Um, but that's what pops up. So definitely something to consider, because we were talking about the Progresso soup, tomato soup, had a high oleic sunflower oil in it. When in Columbus, it should stop by Columbus Keto Treats. It's a bakery. I will try to stop by. We'll see how that goes. Trying to post this week's MS journey, and for some reason, stuck at 7%. Come on, YouTube, work with me. I'm lucky I don't have that problem a lot. Um, I don't know. I'm thankful that I don't have that kind of issue a lot. I've had it a couple times, but not that many times, I guess. Uh, but Evelyn, do they have an online presence? I can take a look and see what they may have to see if I want to stop in and look. I need to find a place that has like jalapeno cheddar sausages. Like when we first started keto, there was Oscar Mayer had these natural sausages. Like they were like kielbasa, and they had beef sausage, and they had like smoked sausage, and they had a turkey sausage that I liked. They were a naturals brand, and they were like low carb. Because one thing that you find is when you're looking at like smoked sausages, oftentimes they're like 5 carbs per a 2-ounce serving, which is crazy because I'm going to eat way more than 2 ounces. And these were 1 carb per 2-ounce serving. So that was way better for me. So like the whole package would be like 7 carbs versus like 7 times 5. You know what I'm saying? So it was always a lot. Cindy will be there. Yes, typically gets jalapeno cheddar sausage at Sam's. Yeah, we have a Sam's Club membership. I just haven't gone in a long time because for like 2 years we didn't know we had the membership, and I guess we were paying for it. So 2 years they were getting money from us and nothing else. But I'm grounded right now from spending money at spending really any money. Like we're trying to do, I guess we're trying to do that no spend like February, March. So I mean, obviously, there's things we have to continue to buy. We have to make sure we have food for the girl and stuff. She goes through cottage cheese and milk and all that stuff. So we got to make sure we have that and eggs and heavy cream for our coffee and stuff. But just the staples, everything else we're trying to eat out of our freezers. We have 3 freezers, and yeah, so we'll be making room on those. So keep an eye out. We might make some interesting stuff going on. So we'll see. Yeah. Considering really I only get out of the house to go to the grocery store. And if I can't go to the grocery store, what am I going to do? Sit in the house the whole time? Boring. So there's no fun for me. Costco's my happy place. And if I can't go, rude. But I might pick up a part-time job at Costco. So not spend a lot of time at Costco, but not for the fun reasons. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't get to spend money anyway, really, but I need to work more diligently at the YouTube. I've been slacking off. I have so many video ideas to make that I could probably just spend a month filming me going over all the ideas that I have and still not get through them all. But I get in my own head. I think, I've been sitting on, this for almost 2 weeks now, or over a week since we've had it. Because I got it like last week. And I haven't really made any content for it. I do have to make something because part of being an affiliate and them sending it to you, you got to make some kind of content, post about it at least once type thing. I guess this kind of counts, but um, I have so much that I want to make, and I just get in my own head like, oh, I'm just not going to be good enough. It's not going to come out right. It's not going to be what I want. And Charlie says, food and cooking talk has me hungry. Making some eggs, bacon, and reheated leftover chuck roast that was smoked like a brisket last night. I have a smoker, but like I have never really used it like a smoker. I just grill stuff on it. Like I just put big thick steaks on it and then cook them in there and then eat them, and burgers or hot dogs or chicken wings or chicken thighs or chicken legs or whatever. We'll get chicken legs from Costco, and I'll fill it full of those and just let it go. Those come out so good though. I'm a little stuffy again today. I don't know what's going on with that. Thank you for your patience. But yeah, so so I take it that Shelly's still sleeping. Heath is awake. Cindy's awake. All these great people are here. So I have a bunch of videos to make, and I will be making. Hopefully, I need to just. Usually get kind of tired when I get done with here, and I get done with watching Autumn's channel, and I usually take a nap, and then I sleep too long. I need to not do that today. I just need to work and really be diligent and make some content, because I still have to edit a quick and easy like Asian chicken salad recipe that I have. I need to edit that and get it voiced over and don't, all that fun stuff, you know. And he says, just finished breakfast and dewy sausage, hard boiled eggs with onion and chive cheese that Maitreya recommended. Ooh. The warden is still asleep. All right. Mary says, "I'm late to the party. Finished up on a midnight shift around 4 this morning. Fell asleep for 3 hours. Well, I am so glad you were here, dear. You can always catch the replay. Sleep is so very important. But I'm glad you're here. How's Joe doing? I hope he's doing well. I haven't seen him in a while. We're all glad you're here. Mm. And let me make sure that let me go ahead and pull up and see if our friends are going to be going live today. Let's see. Let me check and see here. Let's see if they have a live schedule for today. They do not have one scheduled yet. That doesn't mean there's not one coming. Joe says, nobody worry about me. Hey, I worry about all y'all. I worry about each and every one of you. Joe has to work. Autumn said Wednesday. They would not be live today or next Wednesday. Okay. I didn't get a chance to catch the entire live. I watched most of it. And then Shannon and I got into talking about something else. So I didn't catch the last few minutes of their live. So, okay. So they won't be live today. So I am not restricted to how long I can talk today. That doesn't mean I'll really go over 2 hours. I mean, I might, depending on if you guys are into it. If you guys have topics you want to talk about, questions, concerns, complaints, all those things. Mary says, yay! Mm. Or until my coffee runs out, whichever comes first. The Cotswold. I need to find like a keto friendly, like French onion dip, because I get like just the whatever the store bought stuff is. You can get it like from Aldi. You can get it from, I don't get the Walmart brand. I get the whatever French onion dip they have to go with my pork rinds. I need to kind of come up and find one that's like more keto friendly with fewer ingredients, but I don't know. Made another coffee, but I'm off to church. Thanks for another great live. We'll catch the rest on the replay. John Guggenhan, thank you, sir, so very much. I appreciate you more than you understand. Be safe. Enjoy your time at church. And I'll see you Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday. And be on the lookout for some other videos that I've got coming out, hopefully sometime soon. Fake meat is weird. I don't know. It's impossible to understand why somebody would want to eat it. Yep, there's your dad joke. Anita, ketogenic woman, hitting 100,000 subs is celebrating her live stream next Sunday. During my time, because I'm always willing to work around somebody who's got something big going on. I just don't know what time she'll be going live. It's not often that people will go as early as me. 7:30 is pretty early. So somewhere on my channel, I made homemade French onion dip. I need to take a look. I need to see which one looks the best to me and try a few of them to see which ones I like best. I've loved French onion dip or, sour cream and onion dip or whatever it is since my mom used to buy it from the deli. Like at Kroger, they used to sell it at the deli. When I think every store used to have a deli of some flavor, and she'd always get it, like to dip it and scoop it in the deli, and then you would just buy it. Um, I She'd eat that, and we would have ridge potato chips with it. Just something I remember. So it's just one of those things that's always been with me, and now that I can have it sometimes with pork rinds, it's just one of those things that I really do enjoy. It just brings me a sense of home. My mom's gone, but I can, enjoy things that she used to like, which is weird because I never wanted to eat pork rinds when I was a kid, and she loved them. And I always thought, well, that's the most unhealthy thing you could ever eat is pork rinds. How ironic is that? And then, here we are. Hard to stand and type at the same time. That's what I do, like, when I'm in my, when I'm cooking or I'm listening to a live and I wanna type something, or if I'm doing dishes or something and I'm listening to a live and I to stop, dry my hands off, and then type with, with damp hands, and it doesn't quite work out the way I want it to. And, like, when you're listening to a live, the voice to text doesn't work because you're listening to something. So, yeah, they need to make that a little bit better to where I can do voice to text while talking or while doing other things where my hands are busy. But, I digress. Sunday night, okay, okay. 7 to 8 p.m. So everybody take out Ketogenic Woman's live next week. If she hasn't posted already, Cindy, go ahead and put that in the chat for people so they can have that. And I will try and remember to put that in the description so that people can find it, because that's 100,000. If I hit 100,000 subscribers, my head will probably literally explode. And I know it's such a dumb thing, but like starting a YouTube channel, like, you have goals in mind, and like the ultimate goal is beginning a playbook or playbook, the play button, the silver play button for 100,000, because it's like you put a lot of effort into doing this, and like that's just kind of one of those things. Like, I could get one of those. I want one so bad. I just want it. And maybe one day I'll get one. But that's just like, I mean, that is a goal of mine, is to get 100,000 subscribers so I can get the little play button. It's silly, but I want one. I want to. I just. I'll make a few different versions to see what I like best, because I think a lot of them don't they. Because there's probably versions with like whipping up cottage cheese. There's probably some utilizing obviously sour cream. So yeah, I'd be willing to try a few different ones. Carl, my uncle worked for a snack food distributor. He bought cases of pork rinds to every holiday gathering. Little did they know they were good for us. Yes. Yes. I think they were made a little different back then too, because I remember they were like almost the ones my mom had, and maybe it's just like 30-year-old memories, but they almost seemed transparent to me as a kid. So maybe they were made differently. I mean, this is just, like I said, a 30-year-old memory of my mom eating them when I was a kid. But, you hear that, Brian? You need to start putting more charcuterie boards together too. Conventions coming up. I'm going to Keto, Ohio next month. I am going to Columbus, Ohio next month. I am unfortunately not making it to next Saturday. I had to choose between which one, and I had already RSVP'd to Columbus prior to knowing that there was another one. And when I talked to Chandra about it, I was like, "Can I go to this one too?" And she says, "Are you going to the one in Columbus?" I said, "Yes." She goes, "Well, you need to pick one and go to one." I'm like, "Okay." So that's fair. It would be quality content, but you can only do it once. Still trying to get 3,000 watch hours, still needing about 800. Ham over at 600 subs. Yeah, but you have to remember that's 600 people who have decided that your content is worthy enough of subscribing to. And 3,000 watch hours is difficult. YouTube is not easy. I am not going to the Columbus meetup. Rude. We have a lawyer meeting and a business development planning, etc. Kisses money and free time away. Well, I'll forgive you just this once, Maitreya. Just this once. Anita's link for next Saturday or next Sunday night. So I will try to put that in the description below. Good morning, Sherry. Thank you so much for being here, dear. I appreciate you very much. I would have chosen the one that I I'm looking forward to seeing you, sir. It's been far too long. Maitreya may I don't know, Maitreya might be going next Saturday. I don't know. We'll see. I have been doing a lot of them, making cedar serving trays for a client. That's pretty neat. Yes, and taking my bestie Attila as well. Whoop whoop. I wish I was going to that one, but alas, money. Mm. But I am excited to see so many of your lovely faces next month, and then months after that, and then months after that. Keto Palooza. Oh, so what else is going on, everybody? What's got going on? Did you guys have any successes this week? Any failures? Any non-scale victories? So something that we'll probably touch on as well on Tuesday when Shannon and I go live on Tuesday. So Valentine's Day, Valentine's Day was a interesting day for us. So we had made plans to order in food and watch a movie, and those plans were delayed because Cheyenne had been in a car accident a couple of weeks ago. She was hit by a UPS driver. Uh, Not a bad accident, so she was fine. But the damage to the car was enough that it totaled it out because what it did is it damaged the two driver's side doors, and it pulled some of the quarter panel away from the frame. So it being a 2017 Ford Fusion totaled it out because trying to repair the quarter panel would have cost more really than necessary. So totaled the car out, paying off that car. We wanted to make sure she got into a safe car for her and the child, as a grandparent does. So we already lease a car. We lease a Telluride from Kia, and so we took her over to Kia, and we got her into a new lease. Um, it's a pretty little blue color. I'd never heard of the car. It's not one that I'd heard of before. Um, but it's like a crossover SUV style, 36 month. So right in their price range, right at the top of their price range. Obviously, that's the way it's typically going to work these days. But 36 months, so 3 years lease, and then she can get a new lease. So realistically, you can avoid all the car problems. So that took until almost 10 o'clock. We got there at 5, around 5, and we were there till about 10 o'clock. So by the time we got by the time we got out of there, basically we shut the place down. They were cleaning the place, they locked the doors, and we were trying, putting the seat, the car seat in the car and doing all those things so they could leave, go home, go to bed, put the girl to bed. And so Shannon and I, we didn't have there was no place to order from anymore because almost everything closes at 9. So here we are at 10 o'clock. So we go over to Walmart, and we're kind of hungry and stressed out from the car dealership because no matter how smoothly a car buying experience goes at a dealership, it's a stressful event. I don't know why they make it so. And even on 2KK last week on Thursday, I was saying the car buying experience makes me want to go with Tesla because a buddy of mine, he bought a Model Y a year ago, and he was in a situation where he was able to just go ahead and send them the money when they said the car was available. He sent them the money, basically just wired it to them or whatever. And then when it was ready, we show up. He checks his email, clicks the link in the email, the car unlocks, start setting up the car, start logging into things like Spotify and stuff in the car. A lady walks out. She says, I need you to sign this paper. We go inside, we sign a paper, and then we're done. I mean, we were there 30 minutes, maybe 45 tops, but a majority of that was us walking around the car, making sure there were no imperfections so we could say, hey, this was damaged in transit. This needs to be repaired. And, any major panel gaps, any things like that. And that's the way car buying really should be. You show up with your lease already taken care of, your loan already taken care of, or wiring them the full amount. The car was like $60,000. So it's not a cheap car by any stretch of the imagination, but the car buying experience with them is second to none. Because I don't know about you, but spending 5 hours in a dealership, talking with multiple people, there's the car salesman, there is the finance people, and like even sitting there, we decided on a 3-year lease, and they still come out and go, well, what do you think about a 7-year auto loan? Like, why would we want a 7-year auto loan when we came in wanting to lease the car for just 3 years? Because I know that Kias are decent cars, but they're not 7-year cars. There are some cars like a Honda where, 10-year car, 10, 12-year car. But right now, the way that technology is moving, cars really aren't keeping up. And anyway, that stressed us out. And food addicted people, when you're stressed out, going to the grocery store, not the best idea, but it was Valentine's Day. And we ended up getting some ramen noodles, 30-cent packages of ramen noodles. They just sounded good. Mistake to a degree. Now, do we regret it? No. Now, we also got some pot stickers and some egg rolls. Now, we regret those because they didn't taste good. They just didn't. They weren't as good as they were. And yes, Mary, UPS obviously paid for the car. They between UPS and Gap paid for the car because they did buy that car used from a buy here, pay here, or like a buy here, like a small lot. So they paid far more for the car than they should have, with a higher interest rate than they should have for they had got it in like a 6-year loan. So kids understanding finances, it's so weird these days, but that's why we were very adamant about them getting a 3-year lease, because chances are you're going to be spending a lot less for the car in 3 years than you would for a 6 or 7-year, even some cars now, 8, 9, and 10-year loans, because they're so expensive. And the APR is so high. But anyway, I digress. We went and we bought those 3 things. Come home, we bought some ice cream too. So I always talk about full transparency. We bought ice cream. We bought ramen noodles. The only thing that was good was the ramen noodles. 30-cent packs of ramen noodles. But they were so good. And it's weird because you get so tired of them when you're poor and you don't know better and you're eating just ramen noodles all the time. You get so sick of them. But there's just something so comforting about those. I wish we didn't buy the pot stickers and and the egg rolls. The ice cream was meh. It's ice cream. I mean, did we make the best decision? No. But, you know, you know. Maitreya says, oh, let's see. Let me go back up here. Let's see. Yes, she was okay. She was okay. She was on the phone with Chandra at the time, but she was fine. It was basically a fender bender, but it was where they bent the fender that caused it to be a total loss. So thankfully everybody was okay. And from what we understand, the UPS driver did not lose their job, because that's something that typically happens. UPS has a policy typically that any accident is avoidable. So thankfully, he didn't lose his job for something silly like that, just a little fender bender. So that's a plus as well. Thank you for being here. We love you very much, Robin. Have a great day. Matreya says, I was hoping to vend at KPO, but they are only accepting food vendors only. Probably good since I have a con the weekend before, which traditionally sells out all my boards and tea stuff. Okay. So they're only doing food vendors at KPL this year. Yeah. I kind of would like to reach out and talk to Autumn about doing merch for me, but I don't know if I don't know if I don't sell enough merch for it to really even be a thing. Like, Evelyn has bought merch. Some other people have bought merch from me. I haven't sold much. I don't really have compelling designs, I guess. It's just my logo. I need to work on that. I just haven't been able to come up with anything that I think people would be interested in buying. I'm working on that. Like I said, we'll see what I can come up with. But it would be cool, like if I could have some maybe for sale at KPL through her. Maybe I come up with a deal just to sell some during KPL. Have some like maybe have her make up some merch for me and see if anybody's buying or whatever. I don't know how that would work, but I don't know. Just a thought I had. Um, well, I worked total loss for a long time, so basically they only owe for the value of the vehicle and any like any um can't think of the words, not damage, but any kind of, injuries or whatever they owe for that. But I mean, realistically, it was a pretty simple accident. So they paid to the value of the vehicle, which in my opinion, they paid far higher for the vehicle than the vehicle was worth, which is not often. A lot of times people think, oh, my car's worth so much. Well, their car was gross because it was Harley's car first. And he is a diesel mechanic. So he's not a clean diesel mechanic. And so he brings all this. So his car smelled like the inside of a semi truck, but it is what it is. But they paid like far more than because I did a quick look at Kelly Blue Book and see like what I considered their car to be worth. And it was like they paid like 30% more for that car than I think it was worth. So gap coverage still had to come in and pay some. Gap coverage still had to come in and pay like $1,500 on the loan. So really, they didn't have a lot going in as far as a down payment. So we had to help them with that. They had about $1,000 for a down payment on the lease, and we helped them out with some, and we made sure they had the tire and rim insurance and stuff because Indiana potholes are no joke. Um, and it seems like only every year they get worse and worse and worse because they use worse and worse materials to patch up the old potholes, which keep coming back with a vengeance. But anyway, we try to make sure that all that stuff is covered. Then there's, roadside assistance and insurance and all that stuff. Everything was taken care of. They're back to where they were, actually better off than they were. They have a brand new car. So if anything happens, the car's under warranty, the entire lease, outside of tires, rims, but that still has an insurance policy on them. So any damages with the lease, that kind of stuff, they're taken care of and made whole again. So yeah. Right? No joke. Back in the day, we'd shut the bars down. Now it's the car dealership, or I'm in there at Costco at 8:30, and I'm like, let me get out of here. Like, no, we got a few more hours, but I may be working at Costco soon, so we'll see how that goes. Um, it takes so long because the dealership model's flawed. So basically, for anybody who may not be aware, dealerships take the financial burden away from the manufacturers. So the manufacturers build the cars. They have a partnership with the dealership. They sell the dealership the cars at cost. They provide them an MSRP. Then dealerships will sell the car at a profit to them, as well as selling additional services with maintenance packages, add-ons like, coatings and stuff for the seats, the outside, upgraded tires, upgraded rims, things like that. They'll sell all these things to give them a bigger padded profit for each car they sell. And in doing so, it's just a long process for I don't really know why. Like that could have probably been done a lot sooner. Then like when you go in, like we went in and they were signing all the paperwork and really now they have this table that basically it's like it's like a screen table and like these little pens that come out and you sign right on the table. You sign and sign and sign and sign and sign and sign and sign. And like the signing part took like an hour itself, just signing all the documents. And then coming up with all the figures and making sure everything was okay, and making sure that, because we wanted to make sure that the mileage made sense. Because initially they ran it for 10,000 miles, but we bumped it up to 12,000 miles a month to make sure that that gives any kind of leeway, because any kind of mileage overage is typically 25 cents a mile after, sometimes 35, depending on the car, or the lease, or whatever. So read your fine print. But yeah, I had a peanut butter fudge sundae the other day. Oh, it sounds amazing. Stephanie is here. Thank you for being here, my dear. Yeah, so and it was weird because we're sitting there and they have an all electric car sitting in the dealership showroom, and it's $78,000 for this fully electric Kia, which I am kind of a nerd, especially when it comes to electric vehicles. And I'm looking at that car and I'm thinking I could get two Model 3 Teslas for that price. Two. And you're going to get a far superior car. And I know there's people out there who don't like Tesla, they don't like Elon, whatever. But if you're looking at an electric vehicle and you're not at least considering a Tesla, then they're not familiar with the technology. And for years and years, when it came to Teslas, everybody was saying, well, just wait till GM and Ford and all these companies start making electric vehicles. They'll put Tesla out of business. What's happened? Tesla has the Model Y, which is the best selling car of 2023. Not electric car. It was the best selling overall car in the world in 2023. Now, Tesla has their flaws. People don't like Tesla cars. There's things about Teslas that are weird. But when you're dealing with the battery tech, the car tech, the manufacturing tech, they're blowing everybody out of the water. But again, that's not necessarily what we're here for, but definitely something that I'm interested in. So anybody who wants to talk about that stuff, yeah. I don't think so. No, I don't think so, because even if they would have offered us regular value, there's no real reason for a lawsuit, especially in a slow collision, in a slow kind of collision fender bender thing. There was no injuries. There's no reason for a lawsuit. And that's the thing is, I worked insurance for like a long time, so I worked in auto and in life insurance, but I worked in auto for 12 years. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm going to sue you. You're not paying enough for my car." It's like, well, so they did, and I don't think they did to avoid any kind of lawsuit. I think sometimes they pad the numbers just to make things work a little smoother. But I don't think. There was nothing about our loss that had anything to do, like the adjusters were quick, clear, clean, concise. Everything was done quickly. Everything was pretty smooth. We're already into a new car. We've returned the rental back. It was a really smooth overall process. And we didn't have to deal with UPS outside of that day. They transferred it over to their insurance company. They handled it. Not a big deal. So I don't know. Welcome, Uncle Big Guy. Thank you so very much. Well, my thing with the quality issues is they're basically a new manufacturer building brand new manufacturing techniques. So they're implementing these giga presses that are basically taking parts of the car that used to be 100 parts and making it into one part. So the rear end and the front, so the front casting, the rear castings, they're basically one piece of aluminum where it used to be a manufacturing process to put 100 pieces together to make that part. So there's definite growing pains with their manufacturing process, but they're doing things in a way that no other manufacturer can compete with, even legacy that have been around in manufacturing for over 100 years. Because all those other manufacturing companies have been very stagnant because they didn't need to advance. And even now, most of them have quickly withdrawn all their electric car manufacturing because it's not profitable. And they have shareholders to, uphold. So it's not profitable. A lot of these manufacturers were losing an average of $36,000 per automobile that they sold. So it's not sustainable. So they're not offering compelling things to compete with Tesla. Only startups like Rivian, Fisker, which is still relatively new. Most people haven't even heard of, but there's Rivian and there's Lucian or something like that. I can't think what it's called. But there's a lot of things in the back end that Tesla is doing with their manufacturing that does cause some of the manufacturing woes, but it's because they're pushing the envelope and creating the technology to be able to grow and actually become an actual worldwide automobile manufacturer. Because I think they're supposed to in 25 or 26 be releasing their budget like two-door car. That's probably going to be sub $25,000, and there'll probably be a wait list for years. The truck they have right now, there's a wait list for years. They're not even able to make 250,000 a year, and there's 2 or 3 million people waiting on them. So it's just a matter of how fast they can make them, and getting the quality in order is something that they do work on, and they're always refreshing that. So yeah. Stacy, thank you for being here. On the road to Cleveland. How is everybody doing? We're doing wonderful, dear. Lucid, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, Lucid. Even they aren't able to manufacture, and they're always kind of backtracking their manufacturing and their guidance and all that stuff. So it's just interesting to see what what they're doing and how they're able to look at these cars and all that stuff. So 45 degrees where you are. Let me see what it is here. We had a lot of snow over the last couple of days. Well, it's 15 degrees here and feels like 3. So it's a wind chill of 3. Woo! It's supposed to get up to 29, 35. It's supposed to get up to, let's see, 37 degrees today. Tomorrow is a low of 26 with a high of 41. Tuesday's 34 and 47, 45, 56, 36, 50. And then it starts to 12. Then, yeah. So we'll see how this all continues to go. So I am a weirdo, and I would rather it be chilly rather than hot. So that's just me. Yeah, that's one of the issues with Lucid is their initial car was so expensive, like 200, like $150,000, $200,000 car. But I mean, it was like full luxury, the kind of car you buy that you don't drive yourself type car. But yeah, 35. Do you want 3 degrees? When we send that to you, 15 degrees feels like 3. You probably even felt that in a long time, have you, Heath? Mm. But yeah, I've been following Tesla and such since like 2007 before they released the Roadster, their first Roadster. It's just a fascinating company to me. Elon is kind of a loudmouth and he says things he shouldn't say. So that kind of, I'm an investor with them as well. Um, I mean, it's a company that I believe in, but Mary says, okay, everyone, getting ready to leave for church. Have a great day. Stay warm. You too, dear. Be safe. And I look forward to seeing you guys next month. Again, we'll be live Tuesday with me and Chandra, and then Wednesday just me kind of doing a similar thing here, but on a vertical live, as that does show up on the short shelf, and maybe we can reach some people who need help that don't know they need help. So hopefully that's kind of like an outreach thing for me that I will do. And then I'm also toying with the idea of doing um I'm also toying with the idea of doing like a late night live stream as well, like a vertical live that's late night, like after 1 a.m. I don't know. And it's not necessarily for anyone in particular, just to kind of see as I was flipping through some of the lives late at night, there's just not a lot of compelling. It's either like video game play or people just kind of sitting there, just kind of like kind of chatting a little bit, but no real direction. So I kind of wonder, like, could I really, would that be something that would be beneficial to people out there, this channel, maybe finding and helping other people? Yeah, when I bought stock, I had 3 shares of stock, and now that's 61 shares. I have 61 shares of Tesla stock. And so I think I've got like $4,000 invested in that, and it's worth like 14,000. So I mean, that's just hopefully kind of like a retirement type thing for me. So, hopefully, they're supposed to 10x their capex over the next 20 years. So we'll see how that goes. It's just kind of a rainy day thing. So we'll see. Arden, good morning, sir. 2 a.m. is when I watch tubers. I just kind of wonder, like, I just kind of want to play around with it because the whole new idea that people can find you through like just a short shelf, just scrolling by, it's kind of intriguing to me. I did try doing, a couple of lives over on TikTok back in the day, but I would get one watcher and then none and one, and talking to nobody is very difficult. Just talking. I know and I know, at least I know with YouTube, it's recording. So at least then people can maybe watch the replay or catch it in the replay. So I go in and I make it just like one of these, and I make a thumbnail and I do all the things. So I'm not likely to get new people coming into these lives. It happens, but it's not going to be like that. So these lives are for you. These lives are for my people. Hang out with you guys, talk, and then I hopefully can, branch out and maybe find other people who may not realize what they're looking for, or they're looking for something and they're just not sure. So hopefully that'll be something we can do. But like I said, my goal here is to help as many people as I can. So I'm going to utilize any tool that YouTube throws out at there for us to use. I'm hoping to get the availability of the ABC testing on thumbnails soon. Because I think they're allowing you to upload 3 thumbnails and test those over the course of a week to see which ones. Because I'll have ideas for thumbnails, and then I'll make like 2 or 3 and then put them up and change them and stuff. And I don't know, we'll see. Because obviously reach is an important aspect of doing YouTube, because I want to grow this, because I want to help people and I want to grow our community. And I just know I know there are people out there who are lost and feeling helpless and hopeless like I did. And I know that if I do this enough, then I will hopefully be able to help people, more people, because I know how I felt. And if I could, and if I would have run across that, I'd be like, oh, yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I had to go looking for it at first. So, I was there for a little while. I was cooking and doing dishes and stuff and listening, and Charlie says he greatly appreciated the nurse Cindy live the other night. She was awesome. Yeah, I think that's the first time I've ever actually heard her talk before. I will see if I can get her on to one of my Saturdays coming up one of these days. I need to be careful because if I'm going to get a job at Costco, I may have to work Saturday mornings, and that may ruin that. I have to find a different day to do my live streams with people and try to figure that out. But Sunday ones is Sunday one probably won't be impacted as much because they don't open till later on Sundays. But we'll see. Mm. And those are little runny. It's probably because the weather keeps changing, going from 50s to 3. So so what else has everybody got going on this week? Anything you're looking forward to this week? I am looking forward to our Tuesday live. We missed last week because of the holiday. Well, realistically, we missed it because we took the girl to her Valentine's Day thing at school. And then Wednesday was Valentine's Day and we spent it at the dealership. So we would have missed it regardless. But I don't know. I don't know if there's an employee discount. I think you have to be there like 90 days before you even get a Costco membership. I think that would be the most beneficial thing, but I don't know if they give you the membership for free that gets you the points back because we're executive members, so we can get points back. So, Joe, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Love you very much. You guys be safe, and I'll see you guys soon, okay? But yeah, I don't really know if there's I don't know. I haven't even applied to them yet, so we'll have to see. But I got to get a job. It's been a while, but And Steph said that she listened to Nurse Cindy after, can't catch it live. I was interested. It was interesting that many of the questions to Nurse Cindy, a 67-year-old woman, including mine, was about muscle. That is the thing. Is like I saw something the other day that 90-year-old people can gain as much muscle as 60 and 70-year-old people. Let that sink in for a second. 90-year-old people who eat adequate protein and lift weights can gain muscle like 60 and 70-year-old people. When you think of 90-year-old people, you think of frail people. You give them a hug and you might break their rib. It doesn't have to be that way. It really doesn't have to be that way. So it's very interesting. But I'm looking forward to Tuesday live. I'm looking forward to Wednesday live. I'm looking forward to hanging out on Monday with our granddaughter because she doesn't have school. Like she only goes 3 days a week, but there's so like almost one of her days is Mondays, and that's when all the holidays fall. So she's missed a bunch of days for holidays, and she's missed some days because she's been sick because she's not around kids. So that all just hits her hard. But yeah, but I'm looking forward to a lot of things this week. Hopefully, releasing some videos. I need to be less of a slacker, and especially if I'm going to get a job, I've got to actually make my time count more and all that fun stuff. So things may change around here a little bit, but I have to. So, you know, we'll have a good time. Be sure to tune into Matreya's channel tonight. She's doing live cooking tonight. I can't remember what she's making, but Cindy or I think Matreya is also a moderator. You guys can put the link to your live or her live in the chat if you would. I'm trying to think who else goes live on Sunday nights. I can't think of it at the top of my head. Keto Buns. All right. Yeah, so make sure her YouTube channel, at least the channel, gets put in the chat so Charlie can find it. It should just be youtube.com/radical geek. so we can get that in there. That's just the channel. It doesn't have the live. There's the live, it looks like. Okay, we're good. Thank you, Cindy. I appreciate you so very much. Coffee. I love coffee. How about you? I know Cindy doesn't love coffee, and she'll be sure to tell me, I don't like coffee. How is Brian, Cindy? Is he doing good? That sounds interesting. I've done egg white bread recipes to fry and tallow like French fries, but it's a lot of work. That's like okay, so I was watching Chris Cooking Nashville or whatever his name is that made those carnivore tortillas the other day. And one thing I've noticed about his recipes, as far as my perceptive or my my I can't even think of words. Um, my perception of his recipes, or for me personally, his recipes are a lot of work. He puts a lot of work into those recipes. And I don't think the average person truly appreciates how much work he puts into those. I mean, because you look at what it takes to make that recipe, there's so many moving parts in his recipes, whether it's the mashed potatoes, the refried beans, the tortillas. There's so many moving parts into those recipes. I don't think people truly appreciate how much effort that takes to come up with those recipes, because it's not like the recipes that I do where it's like I'm usually filming my first attempt. He's had to work to create those, to perfect them, to make them come out how he wants, then records them and puts them out for you. Now, he gets more fanfare than my recipes do, because rightfully so, he puts a lot of effort into them and he's getting picked up by other channels who are making them. I've seen Keto Twins have made his recipes. Um, I know others have made them too. I'm just not sure off the top of my head. But he does put a lot of work into those. Um, and I mean, but I look at his recipes and I'm like, I'm not making that. I'll watch his videos and I'm like, ooh, carnivore mashed potatoes? I'm not making that. Or the refried beans, I'm like, I'm not making that. It's like hours worth of work for these recipes. And I'm like, I am not doing that. I appreciate that he puts the effort in. I appreciate that he's giving the opportunity for people to have carnivore recipes that he puts out. But I'm watching those and I'm like, there is no way I'm making that. That's too much work. And maybe it's because I'm a little lazy, sure. But I'm like, is it I don't know. I'm like, I can spend $5 on a pack of egg life wraps. I don't know. That's just my whole thing of being like simple. I don't like overly complicated recipes. And like those are like you're mixing this up and you're cooking this up and then you're like blending it and that's a lot. Then you're cleaning up after all that. OMG, that's a lot. So like I see that stuff and I'm like, that's just so like the fact that he's come up with these recipes with all those moving parts is insanely impressive. And I give him all the props for that. I give him props. I give um what's the guy that hasn't made videos in a while? Black Tie Kitchen. He makes a lot of keto stuff that's impressive. All the people that make these complicated recipes are impressive. And I give them all I give them all the props because they're putting in the work and they're coming out with results. But I look at those recipes and I'm like, that's not for me. I mean, that's the thing is like, so one of that's funny you say that. So like when I first started doing keto and I started losing weight before I really had a channel, and I was just kind of posting on Instagram and I had picked Keto Simple as my Instagram handle long before really it made sense to me why I was doing it. It's more serendipitous than anything, but I would go in and explain to people like, "Oh, tell me what you do." And I would go into these long explanations on how to do what I do. Long. I would take an hour and talk to them on how I do what I do for them to go, "Nah, not into it. That's not for me. I can't give up bread. I can't give up pasta. Nope." So over time, I simplified it and simplified it and simplified it and simplified it down as much as I could to basically like, hey, eat meat, eat eggs, eat some veggies if you want, eat some cheese if you want, cut out seed oils, use animal fats, butter, tallow, lard, eat till you're full, don't eat if you're not hungry, or don't eat if you're hungry, don't eat if you're not. And that's basically as simple as you can get it. Take some electrolytes, drink water, you know. If it's you're like, can I have it? I'm like, is it meat? Is it eggs? Is it some cheese? Is it some vegetables? Is it electrolytes? Is it a sugar-free electrolyte? Is it tallow, butter, lard, some avocado oil, coconut oil? Is it one of those things? You should probably avoid it then, especially in the very beginning. Simplified it as much as I can. And I think more people are on board with how easy it might be then. Oh, that's all I have to do? Cool. But I would go into all these long, drawn out conversations, and people would be like, "No, that's not for me." Because I mean, if you make it too hard, too complicated, people aren't going to do it. Just like with those recipes, I mean, one, I've never been a fan of refried beans in the first place, so I definitely wouldn't make that recipe. But the mashed potatoes, I'm like, that looks good, but so much. I don't know. In some aspects, to me, I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze for me personally. And I know there's a lot of people out there who probably love and live and die by those recipes and make them, but I don't have the time, you know? And I mean, like I said, I give him all the props and I am not putting him down. I am not saying, he is doing an amazing job with these recipes. He's putting out recipes that are really, lighting a fire under people and getting people in the right direction. And that's what we should be doing. But there's so many moving parts. I wonder just how long it actually takes them to come up with these recipes. If anybody has contact with him or anything like that, see if he wants to come talk to me on a Saturday morning or whatever. I'd love to have him on. I'd love to pick his brain on recipes and stuff because he's putting these recipes out and they look great, but they're just too many moving parts for me. I mean, you're cooking and you're like with the tortillas, like you're cooking them and then you're putting them in the oven and stuff. And I'm like, that's amazing, but not for me. And Maitreya says she wanted to love the mashed potatoes. Did you not like them? Because I don't think I've heard anybody say they didn't like them. I enjoy spring and summer when I'm able to share a bunch of vegetables people hadn't heard of or didn't know how to cook. Yeah, I love that. I made the mashed potatoes. They were really good. Then the leftovers, I made potato pancakes. Worked great. Oh, that's interesting. Nan, I didn't say hello to you. I'm so very sorry. I saw your thing, but I was in the middle of saying something and I saw it. But thank you so much for being here, dear. I appreciate you so very much. But I'd love to talk with him. He seems like a very fascinating guy and puts a lot of work into his stuff. And I have to give him so much credit for that because he is putting all the effort in. It's just like, the Keto twins, they put a lot of effort into their stuff. Steve from Serious Keto, all the people that really put the work in to make make all this great content. So No, I didn't like them. That's okay. Everyone doesn't like all this. Yeah, 100%. And I'm glad that people like it, but I mean, I don't even know if I'll ever try it because it's like the egg white bread. Like the egg white bread, I don't have a stand mixer, so I'm not going to stand there with like a hand mixer and mix it up to get it stiff enough to make the bread and bake the bread and all that stuff. And then, do like what Neely does and put the butter in there and stuff. Like sounds amazing. I'm just not going to do it. Like I don't even make fathead dough. I make my own. I still got to make a video on my own lazy fathead dough because I don't care enough and I get similar results. And some may argue better results doing my lazy than I do with actually making the fathead dough and kneading it and rolling it out and then baking it. So be on the lookout for that. I know I need to make that recipe. There's a bunch of different recipes that I want to make. Just gotta find the time, and my kitchen's got to be clean and all that stuff. I tried the tortillas, had a hard time with them, salvaged a few, didn't look the best, but Brian likes them. That's the thing is like, it doesn't matter what they look like. How do they taste? Like when we first started doing keto, I was making like breakfast tortillas out of just the simple egg and cream cheese. Throwing eggs and cream cheese into a blender, blending it up, and then just making the little tortillas about this big, and then making breakfast, having eggs and bacon and cheese, and just making like little breakfast tacos with those. You know, those were perfect. Two ingredients, simple, fast. Didn't take long to make a whole huge stack of them, and then everybody could eat on them. I just think that, like, I think we're getting to the point now where we're trying to make things carnivore that don't, not that they don't need to be carnivore, but we're going and we're doing like, all this heavy lifting for things that, I mean, it's fascinating. It makes for great content. And there's going to be people out there that's going to be the stepping stone they need to be successful. So I'm never going to put down somebody. I'm never going to, say you shouldn't do those things because you never know what's going to be the catalyst for someone's success. But as someone who's been doing this for like 8, 9 years, I see that and I'm like, I'm not doing that. Because not only do you got to put the work in to do it, then you got to clean up after yourself. And I hate dishes. And what I mean, like, that's why I give him so many props because he had to work to put that together. That video wasn't the first time he made that. He probably made some of that stuff 20 times or more just to make it work. He's putting in so much more work than he's going to get out of the video. So I give him all the credit he'd ever deserve for that. Yeah. I love Neely. I was a subscriber before either of us were keto. Yeah, I mean, I don't even remember how I found her. I don't remember how long I've been a subscriber to her channel. To me, like she's one of those people like I've always been there, I guess. But I found her after she was keto. But she's super sweet. She's so sweet, and she's another person. Like she works so hard. She not only runs a YouTube channel, which is an undertaking most people don't understand, especially one her size. The size of her YouTube channel is a full-time job in of itself. Then she manages a farm, homeschools her kids. She's like super mom. And she's sweet, and she's just the nicest person you'd ever want to meet. And she thinks we're funny. So, I mean, that's obviously like 20% to how cool she is, you know? So that's like the thing is like most of my recipes I've thought about like a lot of the recipes I've had, I've come up while I was fasting, so I couldn't even try them out first. And I would just film it and try it and be like, "Oh my god." Like my chicken tenders that are battered chicken tenders, like with the batter that's egg and Parmesan cheese and a tiny little bit of oat fiber flour. So it's all resistant starch. Just seriously. And a whole thing of it's like 2 tablespoons, but it's just enough. And that comes out like Shander likes those chicken strips better than regular chicken strips. And they're so good. And they reheat well. You can put them in the air fryer and they get crunchy, the crispy again. They're so good. And they don't take that long. And I'm like super proud of that recipe. And I try to share it as much as I can because I think if more people had an opportunity to try it or see it, they would like it a lot too. And I think it's got like less than 1,000 views. Um, but what are you gonna do? But I think that's a recipe I'm super proud of because it was one that I thought of while I was fasting, and I put it in I tried it, and I'm like, "Oh, yeah." Made the video, maybe the video didn't come out right, maybe I need to make another video again, who knows, we'll see. But I'm proud of that recipe, but recipe development is a lot of work. But most of my recipes are things that I do make on a regular basis, like, you know, easy, simple, because I am lazy when it comes to that kind of stuff. Because not only am I, cooking and filming and then cleaning up after myself. That's the dumbest part of the YouTube channel is how to do all the dishes after I film videos. Especially if you're doing it and have all the little dishes with all the ingredients out and you're dumping them in, it looks nice. Then you got to do all those dishes. Give it a 0 on the Yelp. Do not recommend. But yeah. Mm. So what's everyone else got going on today? We're hanging out. We're having a good time. I need to have Lindsay Murphy on my channel as well. I haven't had her on my channel yet, and I need to just ask her. Um, who else should I have on? I still need to um reschedule with Sean, intentional carnivore. See if I can get him on eventually. But like I said, a lot of that's going to be dependent on how Costco goes. If I get a job at Costco, I was going to work with my brother at his Sportsman's Warehouse place, but they're slow right now and they don't need any part time gigs. So Costco will be the way that it is, I guess. Charlie says taking a break from the gym, trying to train for a 5K later at some point. Running, I don't. I would love to run a marathon. I'd love to do like a half marathon. There's a famous half marathon here in Indy. It's called the mini marathon. It comes right before. It comes along with the Indy 500, and I would love to do one of those, but I don't like running, so I'll probably never do it because I don't like running and training to get myself into any kind of shape to run 13 miles or jog 13 miles is a whole thing in itself. Bob's listing on his online store all day. Good job. Hopefully you have a lot of luck. Now, one thing that Chandra does is she lists a bunch of stuff, but she only lists she'll list a whole bunch of things, but then she'll put 5 out each day. So if you list 25 things today, only release 5 today, 5 tomorrow, 5, and then you got 5 each day. You're more likely to get hits that way. Today, doing laundry, I have my weekly video together about what I ate for the past week, figuring out what to make food today, etc. I did my dang kettlebell workout this morning. Usually love it, but not today. Wanted to stay in bed. Yeah, I mean, getting up today was difficult. I didn't sleep so good last night, so I'm gonna want to nap later, but I'm gonna have to fight the urge to nap and actually get some actual video work done and editing done. Uh, you know, I've been using lives as as a crutch for this channel for a long time. And I need to actually put more actual videos out, record them. Yes, I need to get. I need to get a kettlebell. I have at least like a 15-pound kettlebell, 10-pound kettlebell to start off with, and pull the car out of the garage, and work out in there, and then pull the car back in. You know, I need to do something, move my body. I want to say thank you to all the new members. Just Jason Keto yesterday donated 5 memberships, which is greatly, greatly appreciated. I love that so very much. I've never used Shopify, so I'm not sure how to work that either. I have my merch stuff at the bottom under my screen. Um, but like I said, it's not compelling merch. I don't know. I need to come up with something compelling that people will want to buy. Because expect people to pay those prices for something that's not compelling. I wish I had a way to get the prices down because I think if I could get my t-shirts like $12, $10, people would be more likely to buy them. But dealing with not having to buy all the shirts myself, print them myself, ship them out myself, and have an inventory of blank shirts, I don't have much of an option for lowering the prices. So, I need to get busy updating my Etsy shop. We did have a sale Friday. Woohoo! Yes. My Shopify needs help. I have Printly stuff. I need somebody. I need help with my website. So I have keto simple.xyz and I have Squarespace, but I am just not good at that stuff. And I don't know. I have it's so jacked up, it doesn't even look good. So I don't even really push it for people to go look at it. There's not I mean, there's stuff there, but not enough. I don't know. I need to find a way to put my shirts on there and stuff and have, merch on there and YouTube videos that I like there and all that stuff and have recipes and all that. I just don't have I don't know. I don't know enough about it. I know it's like drag and click, but I just feel like a dum dum when I'm trying to do that. So, yeah. It's like handling a whole team of stuff by yourself is kind of annoying and it's overwhelming at times. So, yeah. I couldn't imagine. Just going to I've been to just a handful of conventions and I couldn't imagine working them. Like even I mean Keto Palooza and I know is a convention, but not quite the same. But I mean I know these like gaming conventions like Gen Con and um all the different gaming ones and stuff that you're into, like comic book conventions and all that stuff, like those are so overwhelming. I don't I mean I applaud you because it's insanity. And to do them multiple times a year. I know I've said I would love to go to all the keto cons and all the keto conventions and all the keto gatherings, but even that is overwhelming. That'd be so overwhelming, like social battery drain to the max. So I take my hat off to you. Mm, almost done with my coffee. And she has a corporate job too. Excited for our new convention that our team is putting together. Yes. I have some shows coming up in March. What kind of shows? You do something. I'm not familiar totally with what you do. So put it down here. Put it and maybe and we'll see if we can get a link. See if we can put some links to what you do. I definitely will. I'll talk to you and see what we can come up with. Because I have ideas for stuff, but I've tried to come up with my stuff and it's just not how I want it to look. Totally random. I'm excited about the new X-Men 97 cartoon coming out next month. I grew up in that Saturday morning cartoon. I grew up with all the like watching X-Men and watching all that stuff. We're a similar age. I'm not sure I'm really familiar with X-Men 97. I know that some people that I do lives with have talked about it, but I'm not sure what they've said. Um, I'm curious to see if it's any good. I was excited for the He-Man that came out that Kevin Smith was working on, but I felt it was a little too not He-Man-ish enough. Like, I don't know. We'll have to see how that turns out. I know there's been more released. I haven't. Once I get my watch hours, Sharon Holloway, I will get with you as well. Yes. Craft shows, but I do woodworking, hobby side gig. That's it. Yeah. So if you've got anything like that, just have Cindy put the link in the put the link in the chat to get that shared out for people. Then I think Maitreya will be friends of yours because she loves all the tabletop board games. And one of the guys that I do Toxic Tuesday with, he has a channel where every Friday or Saturday night, I think they play tabletop games. They have like a long running game that they've been playing for a long time. So that's definitely something you might be interested in. Even when we're doing Toxic Tuesday, he calls it his Only Hands account, and he's sitting there painting his little figurines and stuff while we're doing our movie talk. So yeah, I really love the stuff I have gotten from Sharon. I got beanies last year for my game stuff, and they were fantastic. Everyone loves them. That's the thing is I'd love to have like a cool beanie. Like I want a beanie with the brim. I had one a long time ago. I don't know what happened to it. It's probably got lost in one of my cars or something. Who knows where it is? But yeah, I want to be able to get people compelling merch at an affordable price, and I don't have to hold the inventory because affordability is one of those things. Like we talk about affordability with the products that we buy, and should you buy it based on affordability? Is that price right for you? And then I have merch that's like $26 for a T-shirt. That I don't feel right about that, but I don't have other options really. So I'll definitely be in contact with you. That's insane, but awesome. Mm. Mm. Oh, my neck is stiff today. I wish we had some chiropractor friends that live nearby. I've always said this. I need to go and see Dr. Mondragon in Florida because I think she does the soft tissue and all that stuff and then cracks you and stuff. I need that. Looks like it feels so good. We'll be at Hoosier Con in end of March. I'm guessing that's in Indiana. Makes sense. Hoosier. Yeah, I definitely be in contact with you, Sharon, so we can work something out. Um, yeah. Is that the same day as IndyCon? There's a meetup today in Wisconsin. Are you going? If the weather wasn't so bad, I would be down to go to a Wisconsin meetup because we've got my sister-in-law lives in Wisconsin. She lives close to Milwaukee. And Steve lives up near Milwaukee as well from Serious Keto. Brian says he has a Facebook page, so see if we can get that link in there. It starts too late. Yeah, and then you got to drive back. One of these days, Shander and I are going to take a Thursday, and we are going to go up to Easy Peasy's Thursday Keto event and see them and Evelyn and join their group for a Thursday night. And I think they do a live stream, so that'll be interesting. Goes from 3 to 5. Yeah. Then 5, you get home like 10 o'clock at night. Yeah. I'd do it because I'm crazy. But yeah. There you go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Cindy. Brian's Facebook page, just shout him out so people can get an idea of what he does. IndyCon is different. I didn't even know there was so many. I know that Indianapolis is a convention capital, kind of. I know we get a lot of conventions. That's why we have the big convention center that we have. That's why Gen Con's so important. There's PopCon, IndyCon. I guess there's Hoosier Con now. I don't know how many there are. I think that's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive how many there are. And I live here. I don't even know. I know there's like firemen's convention every year. There's a Future Farmers. I know that we used to like downtown does cater to that. We've had a Super Bowl here before. When we have a stadium, really, that basically we built the stadium to have a Super Bowl. We've only had one, but I think they think we're too small to hold another one, even though I think the Super Bowl we did have went off really without a hitch. Did I not make you a hold on, Maitreya? Now you can. I thought I made you a moderator a long time ago. I'm sorry, Maitreya. SD Bradley's in the house. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you for becoming a new member. I appreciate that very, very much. I ever thought so on my side of the thing here with what I'm looking at, I couldn't tell that you weren't a moderator. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Maitreya. I thought I already had you as one. My bad. It's still weird to me. People like I don't have Facebook. I mean, to some people, it's just a thing they don't have, and some people, it's kind of like I don't have Facebook. I don't know. I'm just being silly, but I'm like, I couldn't. I mean, that's how I keep track of people who live far away from me. So many people live all over the country, all over the world. Without Facebook, I would have no idea what's going on with them. But yeah, I couldn't live without Facebook. And I was one of the people that didn't even want Facebook to begin with. I remember being the guy that had, I had what was it before MySpace, and people were like, I'm only on Facebook. Or one of my friends from years ago was like, I'm not on MySpace. I only have Facebook. I'm like, I don't want another thing. Little did I know that it's going to be loads and loads and loads of things. Now MySpace is long gone, and Facebook's kind of the thing, but now like the kids are like, "Oh, you're on Facebook, old." But yeah, yeah. So Sharon, if I'm not mistaken, you're the one that had the you put the embroidered keto simple on your bag, right? I try to keep everybody straight, but I'm not very good at that. My brain is small sometimes and it's full. Because I'd love to have an embroidered hat, like a beanie that's embroidered or something like that. That'd be super cool. Um, yeah. Yes. Okay. I want to make sure because that's super cool. You showed me at KPL, and it was like the highlight of that was like the highlight for me that somebody took the time and did that and put my logo on their bag. So that's super cool. I want to, and I know we talked about this. I think it was yesterday during Shelly's live with on my channel. Is Keto saved me? That's something that I know that a lot of people may want to use. I want that merch. I want keto because keto literally saved me. And I'm utilizing it hopefully to save others as well. So keto saved me. I need a cool logo to go along with like keto simple. Keto saved me. You know, I've also kind of wanted like one of the merches that I wanted for me is like a sports jersey type thing. So like on the back, it would say like keto simple, like where your name would go. And then where the numbers would go would be 421, because that's where I started at this journey with, is 421 pounds. And then I don't know how to put like pounds lost or something there. So people like are like, starting weight 421 pounds or whatever. I think that'd be cool. That'd be super cool. So yeah. So I mean, keto saved me. That's a phrase that is should be shouted from just about everybody. So I think, and hopefully if I put it on some merch, people aren't so upset. But I mean, that's the thing, is like, I think we should all have merch that says keto save me on it. I think that's amazing. Hashtag keto save me. Like, that's, I mean, even like, it's just, you know, so I was like, I remember during the live, I said, oh, that's an amazing phrase. And I was laying in bed last night. What was that phrase? What was that phrase? And I was like, keto saved me. Yes. Ron's Keto Cafe. Good morning, Ron. How are you doing? Dustin and friends, happy Sunday. Happy Sunday indeed. 2 hours, 12 minutes into this live stream with all of you wonderful people. Having a great time. Almost done with this coffee, though. Now I am done with my coffee, but I got some water just in case I get thirsty. So we'll keep going. If you guys are into it. Let me get comfortable here. Other than wait a second here. What's going on? You got a fractured hip? How did that happen? Do tell. Do tell. And I hope you're not like totally like immobile. Good morning. Good morning, my weight loss life. Right? Okay, so that's Greg. Greg is my weight loss life. Okay. I try to keep people's names straight, but I do forget, so please bear with me. I had a hip replacement in mid-January. Oh, that's rough. I have a buddy who was like in his 30s, had dual hip replacements. Whew. Rough. Don't know how it happened, but at least I can move around. At least, yeah, that would be the worst part of it, is like not being able to move around. That would be awful. I would not enjoy that at all. A neckerchief mask with a beard on it would be really cool. It's crazy how many beard and glass logos there are out there. Like Some have like the little like the little hipster hair thing going on with them and stuff. There's so many logos like that out there that it's pretty fascinating, really. Had both hips replaced in 2 years, no problems with the other hip. Then this one just fractured. Oof. Mm, that's just rough. I'm always looking for some kind of cool merch ideas. Like I think the idea of cups. Like I have a cup back here. If you can see it, I can't point to it. It's over here. Whatever. Some friends of mine make that one. It's linked in my description. Um, but it's not the kind like these are the kind of cups that we use. But like getting like this kind of cup is just even though like this cup is like $8 at Walmart, getting them in bulk and then having, like the late, having it put on there so it doesn't come off, or even getting this and having it etched, that would be super sweet. Like it's got this little logo down here etched into it already. I think that would be super cool. I just want merch that people can use, compelling merch that people can use because, t-shirts and stuff like that. People wear t-shirts, hoodies. Hoodies are huge. Um, you know. Steph, thank you for being here, dear. I'll see you soon, okay? I've had both knees replaced. That was rough. We're all like well, I don't have anything replaced, but the $6 million man, we have the technology. Whoo. Yeah. Hopefully I don't get to the point where I have to have things like that replaced. I did have hernia surgery and that was a rough one. Like I had to sleep on my back for like a month and a half, and that's not how I'm used to sleeping. And then like throwing in having like a new CPAP machine, and then like just moving around, like getting up was rough. Oh, Sin's here. Good morning, Sin. So she said, "How many that I mentioned the $6 million man just saw that Lee Majors was trending this morning on Twitter. He's alive and well, I hope." That's the scary thing when you see somebody, a name trending on Twitter. It needs to be like so and so trending, and then like is good, or like RIP, so going into it that they're gone. You know what I mean? There needs to be like like especially anytime Betty White would trend prior to her passing, you'd be like, Betty White's trending. No, you know what I mean? Like there needs to be something like when you see something like that trending, like for real. Like there needs to be something. Most of the business is corporate logos or garments, and for businesses in Hawaii, plus custom woodworking items for tourists. Are you in Hawaii? If you're in Hawaii, it's pretty rude because I've never been to Hawaii before. Who Hawaii? Pretty awesome, right? I think the same thing. It seems to be he seems to be pretty alive. Okay, that's good. Here on the mainland is the creamy koozies. So like I got a couple of creamy koozies from the last meetup I went to, and like the issue with the koozies that I received, I want to say Kate made those, and they have like the Velcro is like not sewn into them. It's like stuck on. So like if you wash them, the Velcro may fall off. So they need to be washable. Does anybody feel that their metabolism has changed to being keto for some time? Like this week I ate crappy all week and didn't gain any weight. It also just depends too. Like I think one thing about being this way for a long period of time is I think you gain some sort of metabolic flexibility to where if you do have an off-plan meal here or there, it's going to be easier to for your body to process that. Where before I think it struggled to process and find places for everything. That's just my moronic look at it, I guess, my uneducated look at it. Like, I think if you've been doing keto long enough that you're going to see some better metabolic flexibility. I think that when we start doing keto, our body has a tough time adapting to utilizing ketones, and we become more insulin sensitive, and we become more sugar sensitive, and we become better at, hopefully, at handling any sugar we do come in contact with, because this is the really real world, and we're going to come in contact with some, whether inadvertently come in contact with some like we didn't know was in there, like the days like you go through and you get a diet soda that's not really diet, or you get a drink from a restaurant and they say it doesn't have sugar in it but it really does, or you go and you get wings from somewhere and they say nope, these don't aren't breading on them but they still have wheat in them, and that can cause issues. But I think the longer you stay in a ketogenic state, the more metabolically flexible I think we do become to some degree, because we still utilize glucose because our body manufactures it, and it may not need to manufacture as much or whatever, it needs to manufacture more, whatever. So I don't know necessarily how that is or works. Maybe need to have some doctors kind of look into that. So you know okay, so you're in Ohio, so that's okay, so I'm not as jealous now. That is awesome. I appreciate that what you were doing. Definite great work. We bought the creamy deluxe, and the regular creamy koozies work just tight. Yeah, we have them. I just haven't made any creamies in a while. I just haven't had a chance to go through and make up any and put them in our freezer. I haven't had any room in our freezer, but I imagine over the next month there should be room opening up in our freezer to be have some more room in there for us to be able to fit some creamies in there. Okay, so Cindy's washed yours. Okay, did not put them in the dryer. Greg says he has to agree. Okay, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things I think metabolic flexibility I think should be a bigger thing we think about. I understand that some of us are doing this for autoimmune issues. We're all doing them for various reasons, not always weight loss. Sometimes it's, whether it's seizure control, autoimmune control, you know, gut health. We're doing it for, obviously I said autoimmune, but things like UC or IBS and things like that. But I think that overall, I think us as human beings probably meant to be more metabolically flexible, as if we look back at our ancestors and where we came from, where we were able to fast if we needed to, we're able to consume large amounts of protein if we needed to, or if we were lacking in protein, but the right time of year came around when we found fruit trees and we needed to sustain ourselves with those fruit trees, we had to be able to process that. So our liver would process the fructose, the body would make sure the glucose got where it needed to go in an efficient manner, because we needed anything and everything we can get our hands on. Unlike now, where we live in such a food abundant society that there's far more food available than ever in history. There's far more food available to us at any given moment's notice than ever in history. Think about like my house. We have a refrigerator that has a freezer, and we have two other freezers in our garage, and we have a pantry full of food. We get to that. Oh, there's nothing to eat in the house, but we've got $5,000 worth of food in the house between the freezers, the pantry, the fridge, drinks we have in the garage, whatever, right? We live in a most abundantly overabundant food landscape than we've ever in human history. I mean, we don't have to go and hunt to survive. We hunt because it's a thing to do, but it's not for survival, you know. You don't have to sneak up behind, the ribeyes at the grocery store. But I think, there's something to be said about that, because we don't have to do that. But I think we should be looking at, I mean, we should be kind of with that food abundance. There's so much food we shouldn't be having. Just because it's there doesn't mean we should have it. And I'm a person that's, if you are a person that can moderate, you're not here because of food addiction issues, you're not here because of weight issues, and you are able to moderate, but you have issues with the food that you eat because it causes autoimmune issues or whatever. If you can moderate, you don't have to be an abstainer. There's all kinds of people in this community. Like even for Shannon and I, we are food addicts and we do have food addiction issues, but we found over time a way to keep from going into like binge mode and having, those breakdowns where we do go crazy and binge is to have plans in place. We're going to go for, on birthdays, we go out to dinner and we will have off plan meals because that gives us something to look forward to and keeps us on track. So like, we're on track, on track, on track, and we can do this. And then we know that like, for this kid's birthday or my birthday or whatever, we're going to go do this. Or even like for Valentine's Day, we were planning to do one thing, but that turned into something else. So even though we had a plan, it turned into an unplanned kind of thing. And not necessarily the best thing that we could have done, but we mitigated by when we were done cooking everything, we threw everything away. So we didn't have anything left over. And I think that that's beneficial in a food landscape that we live in now. To how do you navigate your environment? How do you navigate your current environment? Because for us, knowing that that food is out there is part of the struggle. It's easy to ignore most of the time, but we are consumers of television. We are consumers of movies. We're consumers of all. We get ads on our phones. We get ads for restaurants. So there's things in front of our face from time to time. And, we get things like, or recipe videos pop up in our feed that are not ketogenic recipes. And we think, that looks really good. And most of the time we can just scroll right by. Sometimes we have to make a plan. That sounds good. We should plan for that in the future so we can have that so we don't fall into our old habits. We all have to kind of navigate our own lives and make the best decisions for us that we can. And I understand, like I said, there's a lot of people out there who are living a lifestyle where they have to be very careful of what they take in because of seizures or autoimmune issues. If they have a bad meal, then they have flare-ups and things that are very painful. I mean, like for Shane and I, like some of the things that we'll deal with will be, we'll have like indigestion that night and we may not feel great the next day. But that's also a reminder, okay, we're not going to do this for a long time because we feel bad. It's a kind of, I mean, would it be easier if we didn't? Maybe. But then how long is it that we have a breakdown where we just go full ham and just do it for 3 days instead of one night? So we have to kind of take all that into consideration, you know. So, and I know some people may not agree with that outlook, and that's fine. That's okay. Like, and that's why I want to make sure that this is an open and honest forum for everybody to speak their truth, to speak their journey, so we can all live and learn to do this together because we're all in this for different reasons. We have different goals, but we're all here to help each other meet those goals and to achieve those goals and be here as a support mechanism for each other because it takes a village, really, it does. There's so many people out there who are doing this alone who don't even understand that this is here. And that's hopefully we can reach out to those people and we can, bring all that in and hopefully do that stuff. So it says, after eating junky food all week, my pain is greater because of inflammation. It's a learning process. It really, truly is a learning process. Uh, you know, that's why I try to be as open and honest in this forum as we can. We talk about these things. We'll talk about again on Tuesday, our Valentine's Day meal, the thing we had. We had pot stickers that were subpar.
They weren't the greatest. They didn't taste that great. We had egg rolls that weren't that great. I mean, sometimes like that the Chinese fast food stuff, the Chinese restaurant, those egg rolls just slap. They're just they're just so good. But we got the frozen ones, put them in the air fryer. They weren't great, which is okay. We just threw them away. The ramen, we made enough ramen to make that night. We made it, we split it, we ate it. It was great. Surprising enough to say the ramen was the star of the show. And then we were done. Now we're back on track. And I think one thing, especially in the beginning of our journey, I would be in forums and people would be, saying, I had a cheat meal. And they were kind of looking for that permission. And I don't think we need permission. I think we need grace because all of us here are humans and we're all going to make sometimes the same mistakes over and over again. Or we find out that it might be a mistake, but it's one that we have to make to keep ourselves on track because consistency over perfection is going to be what gets us to our goals because none of us are truly capable of perfection. And I have a hard time believing anybody that says they do everything perfect or they've never cheated or they've never had a cheat meal. I just don't It's just difficult for me to believe because we're all humans. Now, am I going to call them out? No. Am I going to call them out by name? No. It's not my place because they may very well be telling the truth regardless of my cynical outlook on things. Just because I don't believe them doesn't mean they're not telling the truth. And we all have to give ourselves grace. And my nose is running. I apologize for that. And exactly. And I think there's people out there who will tell us that they do not go off plan, but the health reasons and the implications and the ramifications of what happens if they were to go off plan is not something that I would, turn my nose up at, right? But I think there are exceptions and I know that there are people out there who don't go off plan, but it is something still very difficult for me to go, okay, a majority of the people who say they don't go off plan, do I believe them? I don't know, not necessarily. But is it my business? No. I take them at face value. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not perfect, and I know that I'm not perfect, and I know that we have off-plan meals even when we don't plan it. I mean, we didn't plan for the off meal we had for Valentine's Day. We had planned to just order in, have something specific, but that didn't quite work out the way that we wanted it to because by the time we got everything accomplished, all of our adulting done for the day, we then had limited options and we went to the grocery store. And I'll tell you what, though, picking out off plan food at the grocery store is very difficult now. It used to be much easier. We all had our go tos, and Shane and I went up and down the aisle a few times trying to figure out what it was that we wanted and come into a consensus of what we were going to get. Now it's difficult. I was like, well, maybe I want a frozen pizza. Maybe we want this. Maybe and we were like, she's like, what about ramen? I'm like, well, ramen sounds good. And what about some pot sticker? It took us like 45 minutes. We went through the bakery. We were looking at pies. We were looking at all that stuff. Do I recommend that? No. Were we dumb? Yes. Did we do it? Yes. Did we make the best choices we probably could have made? That's debatable. I think I was fasting on Valentine's. It was part of my 48-hour fast. Felt amazing by the end. I do love to throw fasts in. Sometimes I'll throw a fast in just at random, and I think for us, because we don't get date nights the way we used to. It is it was something that I wanted to do for us because we don't do date nights. It was all, and when we would do date nights before, it was always on planned date nights, B-dubs or going to get fajitas or whatever, where you can play with it and get it on plan. But because we don't get that opportunity very often, we decided, well, we were going to order Thai food. And by the time we got everything done, the Thai food place was closed. Any of the pizza places we wanted were closed, or whatever. Anything that we would do off plan was closed. So it was store bought, make it home quick. What can we go home and have minimal cook time, minimal cleanup? What could we do that was easy? And that's how we went. So, I mean, that was a big factor as well. We looked at steak, but two steaks for $35 at Walmart was ridiculous. And we didn't, so it is what it is. So that is us. That is what we did. That's what we had. And we'll talk about that more on Tuesday with Chandra to get her perspective, her perception, the way she looks at it. And yeah, I do have, like I said, I do have Tuesday coming up with she and I do have a Wednesday, just me on at 2:00 Eastern Standard Time, which is a vertical live. And then Sunday or Saturday, I have my good friend Keith. He is going to be on Saturday Live with me. He is a recovering alcoholic, going to be talking about how he was able to put that kind of behind him, the things he has in place, how he's doing, how he's working to become a better father for his kids, better spouse for his wife. So not so much food related, but still life and general betterment related. And that's things that I want to talk about because not everybody is on a keto journey. Other people have other kinds of journeys that they're on that are valid and important, and we can get takeaways from. So I hope that you all will tune into that or watch the replay. Come with your questions because Keith is an amazing person. We've been friends for a long time. He does help me with my channel, help me understand analytics. He's helped me with AI integration, things like that. He's a great resource in all of these things. So I do hope you all join me for that. And then Sunday again, me sitting here with you and my coffee. And I would love to get my brother on. But my brother is not. I would love to have him on, but I don't know if it would be a good experience for him, if he would like it, or if we would get much out of it. I need This is something that I need to work on and talk with him about. I've been talking with him about maybe him coming on. He doesn't seem too keen on the idea. But I think him being on here to be able to tell his story would be very important. I just have to work on him for a while to get him to do it, just like I did to get Chandra in here. Because if you were a part of the channel in the early days, she would be on the videos, but not on camera. She would just be mic'd up and you could hear her, but you couldn't see her. And then eventually we got her on camera and then on lives and all that stuff. So now that's where we are. But that took some convincing, took some time. You have to be delicate and, move at people's paces where they're comfortable. Otherwise, it seems forced and it's not so good. But I would love to have my brother. Says, it took a lot for me and my sister Deb to pop on the live stream Friday to surprise Nurse Cindy. I get it. Yeah. Yeah, Heel is here. It's been a bit since we caught a live. Timmy wanted to tell you that he's such a fan and he started a Dustin and Chandra group on 4chan. Oh my goodness. Timmy, what a troublemaker. Oh, Timmy. I love Timmy. He's great. Have a good day, Arden. I appreciate you being here, sir. And I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope it wasn't too boring today. But I think that's enough for me today. I've been talking for almost 2 hours and 45 minutes. So I think it's time for me to skedaddle, go maybe have something to eat, and then get to work on some content today. I do appreciate each and every one of you being here. Jaheel, thank you for showing up, even if it was late. It's kind of rude that you get here this late, but I understand. Tell Timmy that His care package is on the way. His autographed photos of us is on the way. And thank you all so very much for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you all for being members, being subscribed, joining me every Sunday and keeping me company. I do love you all. And I hope to see you guys on Tuesday. Until then, see you next Tuesday.